allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Everyone for coming to the meeting.
You're welcome, thank you.
Okay. Roll call, Diane.
Mr. Barber?
Here.
Mr. Douglas?
Here.
Mr. Bruno?
Here.
Mr. Irwin?
Here.
Mr. McDonald?
Here.
Mr. Fabro?
Here.
Mr. Gwyneth, our zoning officer, Mr. Tatro, water and sewer superintendent, Mike Farrell, highway superintendent, John Flynn, youth director, Dave Drolette, dog control officer, Pam is in the office, John Ryan.
And Diane
And
Miller.
I'm sorry, Mike.
You were having a rough time getting that out. I was just going to go over and help you.
I couldn't figure out what the problem was.
Before the blood went all over the place again.
Okay. Moving right along. Thank you, Diane. Need a motion and a second to approve the minutes of regular board meeting of October 15th.
Make the motion.
Fairgrounds motion, Jim Douglas second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All 5 ayes. Thank you, Diane, they look good.
Thank you.
Number 5, community input. Anyone sign up?
Nope.
Anyone like to say anything?
I just wanted to ask, I noticed on the court's report last time, there was some data lost, and they mentioned PrimeLink for about a month. Anybody know anything about that?
Yep, yeah, we knew about it the morning that it happened. They tried to transfer stuff from one server over, and they lost 2 weeks of data. 2 weeks of data.
So what does that mean to the court?
They had to redo it. I mean, everything has a paper trail in court for sure. So they just had to re-enter the 2 weeks of paper trail that, or not the paper trail, but was lost on the transfer.
Okay.
Yep. But there's always a paper trail, John, always, and they said.
Okay.
Still looking over for a couple weeks.
Found.
Pardon me?
It was lost and found.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Anything else? Anyone else? Okay, moving on. I need a motion and a second, and we can have a discussion if we do need it, but to accept the resignation of James Bosley from the Zoning Board of Appeals. James, as if you don't know, he moved out of the state actually.
No,
Glens Falls. Glens Falls.
Oh, Tux Falls. Okay, I thought it was out of state. So
No, actually, he did say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion other than thanking him for all the years that he was on there? Actually, I don't think he was on too long, but you know, thank you for any time that
Couple
you
years,
spent.
we're gonna send him a letter though.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we will.
Yep.
Okay, so.
Resolution accepting the resignation of James Bosley from the Town of Peru Zoning Board of Appeals. Whereas the Peru Town Zoning Board of Appeals has recommended that Town Board accepts the resignation of James Bosley as of September 22nd, 2020. Therefore, be it resolved, the Peru Town Board agrees with the recommendation of the Zoning Board of Appeals to accept the resignation of James Bosley and thanks him for his past service to the Town of Peru effective September 22nd, 2020. And be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Okay. Moving right along, a resolution discussion accepting recommendations of Jim Aikey to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Rick made the motion, Jim Douglas second. Resolution, Diane.
A resolution approving the appointment of James Aikey to the Town of Peru Zoning Board of Appeals to fill the unexpired term of Tom Fusco. Oh, is that pronounced right? Whereas the Peru Town Zoning Board of Appeals has recommended that James Aikey be appointed to fill the unexpired term vacated by Tom Fusco on the Town Zone Board of Appeals until December 31, 2023. Resolved, the Peru Town Board agrees with the recommendation of the Zoning Board of Appeals and appoints James Aikey to complete the unexpired term until December 31, 2023 on the Town Zoning Board of Appeals. And be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
I think it'd be good, Bob. You'll attend all them, you'll
Yeah, I think
be interested, so.
Just gotta go off the dates for the three levy list for the next one, but,
And as far as that goes, Brandy, is the way that the billing is that the last day is the 6th of November.
yep.
Okay, we have to have it well, we all got the email, or you, I know that you sent it. And it's gotta be at the, Clinton County Property Tax Office by the 16th of November. And so, we don't have a meeting between now and then.
Mhm, no.
But we can't cut it off the 6th of November. If somebody has theirs postmarked on the 5th of November, it takes 2 days
It
to
could come
go.
in on Monday or Tuesday.
Correct. And so, so we're gonna tell people we're not gonna accept it on the 6th because that's the day it's due. So that's the reason. But what I'm about to say is as long as you or Jim can be there and two other councilmen, it's gonna take 30 seconds to read a resolution.
Yeah.
We just have to have a
So
quorum to do it. So, I mean, we
we're
could do
safe
it.
with the mail on the 11th of November, or should we go to the 12th of November?
My understanding is the sixth. If it's not paid by the sixth, by 3 o'clock, it's
But-
considered.
Well, what
When they have
happens if
mail
somebody
time.
mails
you
it
gotta
the 5th?
consider the mail.
They should be mailing it sooner. Judy told me today I had to be here by the sixth at 3 o'clock, because I called and asked her.
Who said that?
Judy.
I think he's in charge.
How I read the email, as long as it was postmarked by the 6th.
Right.
That's the
That's
email that I
normally
told
what
her.
we do, as long as
I mean-
it's postmarked, but we still have to have some kind of a cutoff.
Yeah, because you gotta
But-
give time to create the list and.
Yeah. But,
But there's 10 days between the 6th and the 16th that it's gotta be to the property
It's gotta be
tax
it's gotta
office.
be
Yeah.
the 13th, but,
So if it's not here by the sixth, they're still gonna get the penalty charge. You're just gonna allow the re-levy to go.
No, it's the mail, honey, that we're talking about.
If your bill's not paid on the due date, you get the 10% penalty charge.
Is that?
If you pay your
is that
credit
writ-
card
is
and it doesn't show up on the day, it doesn't matter what your,
So that's written somewhere because
the
I know.
sixth, the bill's due on the sixth.
I
So
know,
if,
but-
if it's not paid by the sixth, there's a 10%
So,
penalty.
no, what I'm asking, Courtney, honey, is it doesn't go by postmark then?
I thought we always did it by postmark.
Maybe for
I
the
don't think
re-levy,
so. Non-paying a bill.
The re-levy.
maybe for the re-levy, but for the
Yeah,
penalty.
but I'm just saying,
I always thought that the
any other
re-levy
bill.
one is, it had to be in here by the sixth, but. Does any, do you have a
If you
mail?
mail your
I'm pretty sure it
workers, it's
says
got
on
a
it.
date on
It
it.
does,
There's no
but,
law school class on postmarks and re-levying. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. The only thing I would say is whatever you've done in the past, be consistent.
And that was always due on the date of the thing. If it
Unless
wasn't paid,
you've
if
got
it wasn't
guidance
paid
to
by
change.
that certain date, because I remember a couple of years ago, even last year, we had to mail back people's checks.
So your
right, but
question
those
is,
were,
does paid mean received or postmarked? Because that's a 3 or 4 day lag right now.
right. I mean,
It's
like,
gotta be paid.
It was done by postmark.
Gotta pay, let's
Just like
just
any other
say
bill.
it's gotta be paid and received by the 6th here in office.
Yeah.
Just to make it easy, because the thing is, if all of a sudden Monday we come in and we have a bunch, and Tuesday we come in, we're not gonna have that time to get all that together if we let 2 or 3 days go into the week to get it there by Friday the 13th.
So you
Well,
want
it's usually set by a time too, because, so people don't drop it off out front,
at 11:30.
that it's done before the staff here leaves that day. That's why it was received by 3 o'clock, and that's what I talked to Judy about today.
Randy, has the town looked into, there's so many people that probably would prefer to pay online. I
We
don't know, is
have
that-
online.
We do have
There is?
online.
Okay.
Yeah, we do
Sorry,
have
I didn't know,
online.
I didn't know. if
out
that
of all
was-
of them, we have 9 people who pay online.
How many?
That's it.
9, that's it.
9 people?
9 people.
Oh my God.
Wow, that's crazy.
So I just make it clear that
Probably don't have internet.
whatever the goal is right now, so people aren't.
What did our water bill say when it went out?
They said it has to be in by,
Because I know mine says something on it.
No, but what I'm asking is postmark. That's what I'm asking.
No,
So a postmark doesn't count with the water bills.
I would have to say no on this one, Diane,
got one on the bill.
because the reason is our letters, I wish I had my letter. Do you guys have a water bill? Because it says right on there, it has to be paid by something that certain time. You got one?
Yeah.
Let's look at one real quick. Yeah, I mean, that's what went out to everybody. That's what we should stick by is what's on that letter. I mean, on the bill.
If you mail your mortgage and visit on a date and it shows up 4 days later, you're still paying a penalty.
It's so much convenient, you
They
know?
don't wanna pay 3%.
Same with your cars, same with everything.
See, with my taxes, I have to go by postmark.
Right.
That was the only reason why I'm saying that. And I just know what people do. What people do, people will drop it off till midnight that Friday night
Sure.
on the 6th, because it's due by the 6th. It doesn't say by what time.
So-
So where's the line?
So the bill said that went out to everybody, it had to be here
Like when I pay my
by
utility bill,
the 6th
80 cents.
at closing, which is normally 3
Oh,
o'clock.
it says it right on the bill.
It says right on the
But
bill.
it doesn't say 3 o'clock, but.
It does say 3, but the office here is open at 3. I know we're here to 5 or later, but the office hours are to 3, so we gotta
Okay.
stick by with this.
Exactly.
No, it's pretty clear, must be received at town hall by November 6th, no exceptions.
Yeah,
Okay.
So that's.
so we're gonna stay by that, because that's what.
Absolutely.
That's what
I
you
just
got.
know how people are.
I know taxes are different, but I
I'm worried there's
don't
gonna be some complainers,
Yeah.
So, that's where we're going.
And you'll get some checks in the mail that we gotta return.
Yeah, but I mean, the bills were mailed out September 6th, so
Absolutely.
they've had over 30
2 months.
days.
Yeah.
2 months to-
Yep.
Okay,
So what are we doing
so
No, no.
when do we, with that being said, we're gonna have everything here by the 6th at 3 o'clock. When do we wanna have that special meeting? You wanna have it like on Wednesday to get everything right or ready to re-levy, to do a re-levy?
We gotta get the re-levy list done. It's gotta be compiled, the re-levy list.
I would say to be safe, do it on the 12th,
12th, okay,
the day before.
okay. So okay, so, and if, I mean, like I said, if no one, if all of us can't make it, we just gotta have 3 of us.
Gotta be in the 13th.
Yes, gotta be
The
on the
13th,
13th.
it's gotta be in by, yeah.
So that'd be November 12th at, you wanna do it quick?
What time?
You guys tell me.
6.
Wanna do 6, wanna do 5? It's gonna be a 30-second meeting.
Doesn't matter to me. Five's good.
Yeah, certain time?
I do big call.
6.
Wanna do 5 or 6?
Whatever.
No, what time you want, 5 or 6?
That's my game. Let's go 5.
5.
Get it done.
5, I was thinking 5 too.
5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. Okay, so I need a motion and a second to set is it a special meeting or not? I mean, we got time in between advertising.
Can we get in here for 5
Well, it's a
days?
special meeting, you just do it once, right?
Okay.
You're not gonna do any other business.
Okay.
You're actually-
So-
You're not gonna conduct any other business that night.
So we need a motion and a second to conduct a special meeting on November 12th at 5 o'clock for the re-levy list, 2020. Jim made the motion,
Second.
second by Rick. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. 5 o'clock. Okay.
Thank you.
Number 9, resolution discussion, approval of emergency purchase of wastewater treatment plant tank 1 sludge collection system. Courtney?
Yeah, we ended up, it's actually tank 2, but they had it wrong in the proposal. We had some chains break in our flight system, and when we were in there working, trying to do maintenance and putting in the new fiberglass trough, we found a shaft seized up, another shaft that's worn. So I had this company come in. The original parts are a little harder to get now, seeing the facility was built in 92, 93. And they're kind of hard to get a hold of. They haven't been too great at getting back to me with pricing and stuff. I had a new company come in. They came right out. They actually went down in the tank, went through everything with us, compiled the list for actually upgrading the tank a little bit with a newer chain that's better for grit, seeing we don't have any grit removal in our preliminary treatment at this time. Grit's a huge factor, so the chain's a little better. As far as the bearings on the shafts, they have a different system that they put in that actually makes future maintenance a lot easier. The shafts in there now are over 1,000 pounds each, and they didn't put any lifting points in the ceiling in that building, which makes it difficult for us to change it out. But time is kind of the essence. The system is down. It's 1 tank out of 2. Tank Thankfully, flows are low, but rain's been picking up. If flows do continue to pick up, this could cause us to have partially untreated sewer going to the river if we don't get this up and running.
I know you ran it by Matt and everything for emergency spending, and everything, right?
Yeah, the reason we have to do this resolution is to, if you're not gonna go out to competitive bidding, there's gotta be a resolution such as this that explains what the emergency is, why you can't wait as long as normal, and what the potential bad outcomes could be if you didn't do this on an expedited basis. So that's probably all this resolution accomplishes.
Right.
There was a number of options. One, they did the work. Number two, they come in and supervise. That's the option.
It wasn't that they did the work. The company that, for the install, I haven't heard from yet, but this is just the equipment purchase, so I can get it coming. This way we can get it through their engineering and get it, because it takes 4 to 6 weeks at least to get some of this equipment. They had some prices at the bottom for future inspections, like when we take it down, if we would actually want them to come out and look at everything before we put the tank back online. That's what some of those prices were. I think it was like a 1 year, a 3 year, and a 5 year option.
Right.
That they come out twice a year and observe. I am looking at getting a price I am getting a price on having a contractor install some of this. Because some of the old equipment has to come out and everything needs to be lined up perfectly. And I am getting a price on actually having the manufacturer assist us install to see if that saves us some money.
So there could be some further charges.
Correct.
Anything else on this?
I believe though their one base price did include one trip out.
Yeah.
For the final.
3,500.
The final before it was put online. So with this system, we would get rid of those shafts that go across the tanks. They're about 13 feet long. Those would actually come out and we'd have stub shafts. They just mount to the walls for future maintenance. You just have a bearing cap you can take off and inspect the bearings. The ones that we can't really inspect them.
So if we do tank 2 now, Courtney, is the future tank 1 gonna come involved?
In the future, yes.
Definitely.
So just so you know, this is not everything in the tank. This is new sprockets to replace the 4 shafts. It's chain, it's flights, it's the rubber wear strips, the poly wear shoes on the flights. It's none of the actual controls like the motor, the overload stuff.
Right.
So it's a partial rebuild of the tank.
Just talking over everybody's head. Plus Brandy's a millwright last night.
Okay. So
Looks good, just make sure that it says tank 2 on 3 spots.
Yeah.
that being said, I need a motion and a second and a resolution.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Recommend motion, Craig second, resolution, Diane.
Resolution of the town board of the town of Peru and the county of Clinton, state of New York, making an emergency purchase of polychem chain and flight equipment without using competitive bidding. Whereas section 64(3) of the town law of the state of New York empowers the town board of the town of Peru, Clinton County, New York, the town to manage, maintain, and control town property and assets as the purposes of the town may require. Whereas the town board has received a request from the town water superintendent to purchase a polychem chain and flight equipment for the WWGP tank number 2 on an expedited basis without using a competitive process. Whereas the town board finds that this purchase is necessary on the expedited basis because the current WWGP tank number 2 has unexpectedly malfunctioned, and the number 1 tank, if left in its current condition, will result in untreated sewage being discharged into the Little Oswego River. Whereas the estimated total purchase price of the polychem chain and flight equipment for the WWGP tank number 2 will be $46,600, and it is hereby resolved by the town of board of the town of Peru in a regular session that the town water sewer supervisor is hereby allowed to purchase a polychem chain and flight equipment for the WWGP number 2 tank at an estimated cost of $46,600, and he shall do so as soon as possible. This resolution shall take effect immediately and shall be dated October 26, 2020.
And Courtney, they know exactly everything that this is, what's wrong with that to fix it, to get it up to run?
I mean, they did a site visit, we could
Okay.
find other things, but as of right now, that was stuff that stood out. I mean, the motors were still working and
Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Courtney, can you have them change the vote to number 2?
Okay. Number 10, resolution discussion approval of AES amendment number 3, RD number 2. This is an amendment of something that we already passed back in July or August. It's just another amendment to it. And Matt looked it over and seen nothing right now. That would,
Nothing that's concerning. It's just kind of fleshing out some of their scope of work, changing a little bit, adding to a little bit of what they're gonna do, that's all it does.
need a motion and a second for that.
Make the motion.
Craig?
Second.
Second by Jim Douglas. Resolution, Diane.
Resolution approving the AES amendment number 3, RD number 2 to owner engineer agreement project number 4671 for sewer trunk line upgrade dated July 9th, 2020, and authorizing the supervisor to execute the same. Whereas the town board has the AES amendment number 3, RD number 2 to owner engineer agreement number 4671 for sewer trunk line upgrade project dated July 9th, 2020, and related items before it, and therefore be it resolved, said proposed amendment to the owner-engineer agreement is approved for modification to services and modification of payment to the engineer, and the town supervisor is authorized to execute said agreement, and be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Any more discussion on this? Roll call.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Moving right along, number 11, we just had an hour of sewer project update, and you want to add anything to it, Barney?
seems like everything's still on track to go out to bid this Saturday.
They said they're pretty good with everything, they got a couple more little things during the week, and they hope everything they will have, which isn't, big things, they will have by Saturday.
Yeah.
Other than that, we just had an hour workshop on that, so, any other discussion on it?
You?
Moving along, all the way to number 12 already, other business. Rick?
No.
Jim?
Okay.
Matt?
Just some kudos to the Clinton County Board of Elections. If you haven't been to vote early at the Government Center, I was there today about 1 o'clock. It was very well done, in and out in about 10 minutes, very easy, felt very safe with all the safety protocols and health protocols, so they're doing a fantastic job. So if you have a chance to get in there early, go for it.
Great.
I think tomorrow I open till 9, 8 or 9, something like that.
I said they're busy over the weekend.
It was busy over the weekend, the lines were long, but they've done a really, really nice job to make it feel safe and secure and easy, so good for them.
Was that 9 to 5?
I think 9 to 5 during the week, tomorrow night there's extended hours, I think till 8 o'clock, and then I think they have Saturday and Sunday hours again.
They did.
Good.
They had over 100 million people voted.
Wow.
That's
100 million.
a lot for
Yeah, I'm for
Westford.
the justice right
No,
now.
everyone,
Somebody's
100
cheating.
million, no. Yes.
It's like 32 million about 3-4 days ago.
100 million now, as of 5:30 today.
100 million have voted?
100
Yeah, well,
million.
everybody opened up Saturday. There weren't, there wasn't open.
100 million people.
I don't
No.
believe that.
Yeah,
No, that can't be
yeah,
right.
it was up to 30 something million the other day. 100 million, it's 5:30.
How many
So-
people live in this country?
320.
Now,
Yeah.
anything?
That's not
Anything?
right.
Other business? Craig? Bob?
No, well,
Dave? Courtney?
I don't think I really have much, I think everybody knows everything around here. I do have one thing for John. I know you had sent me 2 emails, I believe, on the state's requirement for reporting sewer overflows.
Yeah, I'm just sending that for
We
information.
are part of that. I do report ours, just,
Oh,
and so
yeah.
everybody knows, you can anybody can go sign up to New York Alert. You can sign up your own private account, and you can get everything pushed right to your email and your phone. Any CSO sewer overflows, amber alerts, severe weather storms, all that will come right to your email or phone.
What is it called, Courtney?
New York Alert, I believe it's NewYorkAlert.gov.
You get
Thank
a
you.
lot of emails or text.
Well, it depends what you sign up for.
Yeah.
I mean, I only do it for sewer overflows in the area and with severe weather alerts, so I don't get a ton of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can sign up for.
My town phone was signed up for that, and let me tell you, it's like, it's all the time. If you get 20-mile-an-hour winds out there, it's gonna go off.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Perfect.
That's the only calls I get on that phone. It's only a text anyways.
Like, mine comes out every time Matt Farrell comes into town.
That's enough right there.
Well, that was unnecessary.
Anything else, Courtney? John?
Soccer finishes Wednesday night. We have our moving up game. All the kids aging out, we have a game up at the school.
That's it. So it's done Wednesday. Thank you. Mike?
Since the last meeting, Dr. Courtney, I've come up with a plan for just the highway and water and sewer. Courtney approved it, starting November 1st, the highway, water, sewer garage will be locked. Be just like when we had the virus full blown, when we had everything locked up. Each employee who comes in will have their temperature taken and recorded. We're gonna have to get 3 thermometers.
Sam's Club sells them. They're expensive, and they're good ones.
I did talk to DK from Ball Sable, but this is his last week. They were doing salt last week, and it takes all hands on deck, so I'll probably end up, I'm gonna run down tomorrow and see if I can meet with him. If not, I'll meet with Pat Aikey, and that'll be for the process. If one of our department gets it, we're gonna work together and we'll do each other's runs. One of the questions that was asked from one of our employees, and it's gonna be town board, one of our employees happens to say gets the virus, shuts us all out, what happens for pay? Who's paid? I believe it'd be on the town, but I'm not sure, so that's gonna be your decision, so.
I can find out from the state. I mean, I know right now they extended another week to 2 weeks already for people that do catch the virus, but I don't know what government. I just know in the private sector that they extended that pay. But I mean, us as a town board, obviously, someone gets it, we're not going to make anyone suffer. You know, we're not that kind of board, and we would never do that anyways.
I think the only other
I
question.
mean, but if they go somewhere obviously out of state and they know
Yeah,
they're
right,
going out of
yeah.
state, that's a totally different story.
Yeah.
They go to a rally and they don't want to wear a mask, that's a totally different story.
What,
If you've got to get a driver from another town, you're gonna be paying their wages or the other town pay them? And
I would imagine, because we all got shared service, we just like paving, they'll just pay and. I don't know, because it's gonna be more overtime, that's probably gonna have to be talked about. I don't know if we get to that point, if Brandy and Sandy should be in on that. It'll probably have to be a night meeting, because Brandy's work schedule, but, it doesn't matter to me, but I think that's gonna have, that's the only issue.
should be before.
The thing is, Mike, if you want to set up someone during the day, obviously I can put in time ahead of time, because I got time to use, or I'm gonna lose eventually.
Let me run down and I'll talk to Sandy,
Yeah.
or TK and Sandy tomorrow. And
Yeah,
see if we
find
can-
out, I mean, I can go 1, 2 o'clock, whatever, just don't do
Tomorrow we're
November
back
5th.
on 8-hour days anyway, so we were working, today was our last 10-hour day, so.
Like, what would you do with, say you had a snowstorm and your department was shut down, Sable covered it. They run X number of miles at X number of hours. Would they would they use the town of Peru sand and salt and those kind of things and our fuel from our pumps, or would they get that from Sable and then we would pay it back? How would that
We
work?
usually just use our own, that's the way, just like paving, the whoever we haul for, they haul for us, they fill their trucks up, same thing, we go for them.
Okay, so just complete shared services, no
Yeah.
keeping track of, okay.
Yeah, so.
All right, that makes sense.
I do have a question now. What's gonna be, if we're gonna monitor temperatures, what's our temperature when we send somebody home?
Yeah,
There's
that's,
gonna be our
So,
baseline.
what I was gonna recommend is the core system is now moved, they've done everything under the sun. But the state has provided core systems, these thermometers that go on the wall, so nobody ever has to touch them. And you walk up and you put your forehead against it, and it's calibrated to whatever it's supposed to be. But if it's a green light, you can go in, if it's a red light, you can't. I think it's set to like 99.8 or 100, 100.1 maybe, something like that as a cutoff. Check with the court, I don't know if they have them here, but like county court, city court, family court, all those have that same thermometer. So everyone's going through the same type of thermometer every day to get in or not. I know the state provided them, they may start providing them for municipalities, you may get them a lot cheaper, but because they're mounted, one, nobody's gotta touch them, you only get this far away from them, and other people can see. You don't want somebody with 102 temperature looking at it and putting it down so they still
Yeah.
need to work.
Yeah.
It's on the wall, it's a big light, everybody can still see what's going on, so there's none of that stuff that could possibly happen. So you might check into that, see if the state can provide them. It's what OCA is using across the board in the court system right now. It's very easy to use, it's well done. But I would think there's gotta be state metrics as far as what your temperature can be.
Yeah.
And I think you can probably set those thermometers, or maybe they come preset to whatever that is. But if you get a red light, it's an automatic, you're not coming in.
That might be a good idea for the town hall too, because of the cases keep going up in Clinton County again today.
You just don't, I think handheld thermometers, you ask
Yeah,
for trouble.
today.
The one that we go through at work, it's 100.
Yeah.
100?
That was nonsense.
If you hit 100, you're going home.
But this, gentlemen, it's not just the temperatures that is a symptom of.
Yeah, I know.
cold. I mean, there's many things, right?
Right.
I went to the doctor
It's
on Friday.
common sense,
And there's
too.
a whole list of, if you got.
Sore toe?
Yeah.
Wait till fall season starts, and you gotta run yours in a sort of pro bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You know, that's,
You don't know.
that's how it starts for a lot of people.
Pretty happy, I mean, so give me a
Yeah,
challenge.
the vendors,
all over
any
again.
vendors that come, if we just like it was before, they'll call in, or if we happen to see them, all go out, and that's the way it's gonna be done.
Yep.
I don't think what else I had. Went to the state meeting last week. Chips is still up in the air. There's nothing coming out of Albany at this point. I had text you on
Yeah.
but I didn't hear back from you on the 5-year deal. I kind of got online. There is 3 bills in, but Como hasn't moved on any
So
of them.
nothing sent to you, text
It's kind of still stopped. We got another meeting. I think that one's gonna be
Anything on the 100% paying chips from this year?
80%.
It is definitely,
80. There is some towns,
because they got in.
some of that committee that did 100%, and that's what they got paid, was 80.
That's what they got paid with it.
The other thing is, I had brought up last meeting, I didn't have a price. The 3-sided culvert, which is 180 foot long, nothing to do with the bridge part. I did get a price, $390,000. That's with 4-foot wing walls, so I don't, if anybody's been down there, they're a lot higher than 4 foot. They did price it a little high. Threw me back a bit, I figured around 300, but we had gotten a price before that, but the DC wasn't keen on it, which is on an arch plate, which is a bolt together aluminum plate deal. So that was like 1/3, 113,000, rough price, I mean, everything's rough. So I called Engineer Ventures, they were gonna get a hold of the company, which is Contact, which is sold through Vigor Supply and Mowers, and look and just see what the pros and cons are, because it is a couple $100,000 difference on that, so maybe that'll be a cheaper version. The bridge project, I am meeting Carl from Clinton County, and CNS Engineers, the firm that we graded and chose. I'm meeting them Wednesday at 1 o'clock down there in the site. This is just get started, and we'll explain what's going on, what's gonna happen, and what they got for ideas. But it's just a start point, so that's basically, like I said, all we got right now. All the plow gear is on. Hopefully we don't need it yet, but they're ready to roll, so. That's it.
On that 390 and 113, Mike, can you make sure you get us some sort of spec difference so we know the difference in warranty or years?
Yeah, we looked at that arch on Patton Road, and I had talked to the board then, but there was quite a difference,
Yeah.
and it was a 25-year cure, I want to say, something like that, where the 3-sided, it was a 50 or 75, just, the lifespan was different.
Yeah,
For sure.
I'm curious about that.
And it's a lot stronger, the concrete, because, it's full of rebar, so.
Okay, thank you.
Then you're gonna have to hire somebody to set it, crane.
Yeah.
All the rest of it.
Huge crane. It's
Two,
15
probably two.
Yeah, it's 15 wide by 9.6 high.
180 feet.
They're gonna be having, those other pieces of batten were 7,000 pounds. It doesn't sound like a lot, but they were stretched all the way out, lots of big crane. This is gonna be a way bigger hole.
Yeah. Probably 180.
Anything else, Mike?
It's a-
Phew.
Okay,
Mike.
Pam?
No.
Diane? The only thing I have is what I posted last night, just make sure everyone's watching out, you know. Signs and, street signs again, 3 more, Saturday night, along with 4 people's decorations for Halloween, so.
Right on the road?
No, not my road, on Locust Drive where I used to live.
Oh, yeah. well, that's
Someone on Locust Drive's cameras picked up a small sedan over on Holden Avenue. There was a small sedan on the cameras over there, someone's house that I know. And, but they got Locust Drive street sign, they got Holden Avenue, and they got, Winding Brook. So, Mike, when are we, and I hate to say this, when are we gonna replace them? But
What's that?
when can we start replacing some of the signs? Because when people are delivering, I had one guy call me this morning, the pizza delivery guy,
Oh, okay.
well, like I told him, I said, if they go by their phone, it's picking it up, but like they like, you know, like to know that they're on the right street, but like I told them, that's a GPS, that's better than street signs, but.
We replaced them, like Old Town Road up by John, we put them in and they didn't make 5 days, they were gone. They're stolen right back in, we bundled the things, and on other spots where we done that, they don't take the sign, they take everything. They got an older vehicle, they'll run the post over, snap it off, they're taking everything. And they're taking them as quick as we put them on. So, I mean, they're 30.
But I can't understand it.
They're 37.50 a piece just for the sign, not counting the poles.
How much?
You know,
37.50.
30.50 a sign, you know, that's why I quit, you know.
I know.
Not that we don't want to do it,
No, I understand.
it's
you know.
just, you know.
Yeah, but it definitely was a small sedan because like I said, we had it on camera on Holden Avenue.
We
and
have had
Locust.
some luck, although we're not supposed to do it. We put them on telephone poles and they're on, but usually, sometimes the poles are on the opposite side of where they
Yeah.
should be.
Gotta
They're
be
really not
mobile.
supposed to be there.
Okay. Just
13
be
miles an
aware
hour.
of it and hopefully you can.
Side note, it's gonna be interesting to see how much toilet paper gets thrown this year.
Yeah. Maybe they won't go buy it.
Couldn't that be an issue with emergency services?
What's that?
Couldn't that be an issue with emergency services?
Well, the thing is, everything is done by GPS and all that kind of thing now. You know, everything goes by,
The GPS isn't always right.
well, I know. Pretty accurate. I mean, but then again, I mean, how many do you keep putting up to when they keep taking them down? So.
Is there any way to, I mean, other than running a pole over and snapping, is there any way to bolt the top, tack welded?
Well, the posts, no, you can't. They got a breakaway and that's what they're designed for. It snaps off to get the rack and for the liability.
But the top.
But up the top, we will actually take a chisel behind the lock nut and we bugger it up so they can't unscrew it. It kills us in the end if we ever gotta change the sign, because we gotta change the bracket and everything. But they'll just wiggle it and they snap it off.
It just amazes me that no one's hearing this kind of thing.
They're not just, you know, they're taking a little bit of time to do it, so it's gotta be done in the middle of the night.
What are they standing on to do it?
You know, I'm gonna start my hours here shortly, so maybe I'll catch somebody about it.
Well, hopefully more eyes and more things.
Guy in the back, get on your hands and knees.
Okay, Dave? You have anything?
Hey,
Dad?
Dave.
You need toilet paper, don't go to Sam's, they sold out today.
Yeah. Toilet paper towels and tissues are right back to, they're gonna have the same thing happen again.
Oh, now I'm nervous.
Anything else, guys, girls? Okay, moving along. Number 13, public comments on the general items only. Anyone?
There's only one public here,
Hey.
and everybody looks at John.
Number 14, I need a motion and a second to pay the bills.
Motion.
Greg made the motion. Second by Mel. Resolution Dan.
A resolution authorizing the post audit payment of certain claims, bills, and invoices of the town, whereas the town board has reviewed and audited the following claims, bills, and invoices for services rendered and goods provided to the town in October 2020. And the town approved vouchers in October 2020, 202001122 through and including 202001070, abstract dated October 23rd, 2020, for the dollar amount totaling $69,086.12. Of that, $3,431.19 was wired, credit cards and prepaid, and $65,654.93 is remaining prepaid. And whereas the town board finds said claims, bills, and invoices to be acceptable in form and reasonable in amount, now therefore be it resolved that payment of the aforementioned claims, bills, and invoices is approved, and the supervisor being hereby is authorized to make such payment, and be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Roll call then.
Mr. Bartlett?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Okay, need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
They make that.
No, Rick made it and Jim seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.